Hey everybody. Looks like I got a turning little thingy here. I don't know if I'm actually on or not. I guess I am. Yeah, now it's telling me I'm doing fine. There for a minute I was wondering whether or not I was actually going to have a stream. So, got our names together, got our roll together. This is roll reveal number 46. This is a 1956 Denver. First Wisconsin National Bank of Milwaukee roll. It's a original bank wrapped roll. Midnight, you're not in this? But you're watching anyway because this is your last time to get a good roll fix before Christmas. This is our last broadcast before Christmas Day. I will be spending the Christmas vacation over the next couple of days with my family, and then when I'm not with them, I will be working on getting our sale ready for the 1st of January, because it's going to be big. Good evening, good evening. Hello, Starbuck. A 1956 D Wheat Penny Black Beauty. The Black Beauties are known on nickels, not Lincoln cents. So I would say no. Your grandma made your mom go buy cats Christmas cards. She also wanted to give my cats cash. They'd probably do better with some nip, huh? Alright, let's see here. Get this turned down so it's not shining right up in my face. And let's see. I think I'm ready to get started. Oh, wait. I need to grab... Hang on a second. I am missing my flip inserts. Got my flips all ready for this and did not have them present and accounted for here. So there we go. Now I am ready. Got my coffee here. And we're ready to go. Oh no, Jade's heart rate is acting up again. Did you get plenty of water in her? Is she okay? That's horrible. I hope she does okay. I hope everything's all right. You tell her Uncle Chuck is thinking about her. Well, that's bad. Okay. Love you, hun. We'll chat later. I'll get a good update on her at some point. Call me if you need to. Even during the broadcast, doesn't make any difference. Call me if you need to. I could shut this down, talk to you if I need to. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I've got my 50 flips. I've got my area for the names. I've got my roll. I've got 50 names here. And what I want to do is grab my bag. This one's a little bit different bag. Well, thank you, Midnight. I'd like to hope so. This is a really bad time of the year for anyone to get sick, and then for her to have heart issues at her age. Hopefully, it's just a thing with whatever virus she has, and it's dehydration. It's causing her heart rate to go up, and there's nothing actually permanently wrong. That'd be horrible. All right, we've got our 50 names in the bag, and the bag's all shook up. I'm all shook up. Right, open up our roll. Hello, coin addict. Looks like I got nice bright coins going on in here. Alright, let me pop this other end of the roll out. Still working on it. Sometimes these things can be a real pain. They can be a real bear to get open. There we go. I've got it coming. There we go. Alright. Open the roll over the coins. And there they are, all 50. Hopefully 50. And I start over here on my left-hand side with coin number 1. Let me draw a name. And here we go. Doug Reese comes first. Mr. Reese, what do you get on the end roll coin here? Well, it is an RPM. You look at that. Get started already with RPMs. Very first coin out of the roll is an RPM. I like that. Let me solve this issue here with my lighting. Something is not quite right here. Let's see how this does for us. Slightly different adjustment than I'm used to doing, but I think we might get better light out of it. I hope we get better light out of it. Well, no, we're not. So, constantly fooling with this thing. So I've made a decision after the beginning of the year. I will be getting a new microscope which has a trinocular camera mount, and I will be using that to do the row reveals. This actually looks like it has a doubled or a tripled lower serif. So the marker that we'll use is just an earlier die state coin, and it has this die scratch pattern running diagonally next to the mint mark and then horizontally above the date. So there we have that. I'll check for a doubled eyelid here real quick. No doubled eyelid. Let me take a look at the reverse. And on the reverse, I think this is the side that was exposed. Yeah, this is the side that was exposed. So we got nothing over here to talk about. So there we go. That's coin number 1, Doug Reese. Nice little RPM to get us started. Tell me what, my little family needs me, and I'm gone in a minute, regardless of what I'm doing. So if she calls and needs anything from me, you'll understand when I have to just take off. So here's coin number 2 coming up. Let's see who's on coin number 2. Coin number 2 is Adam Chambers. Adam C., let's see what's on your coin. Yeah, this is a pretty coin. I like the coin. It's in very nice condition. I'm going to take a look at this one way up close. Okay, for some reason I thought I was seeing stuff going on there, but I don't see anything now. So this is going to be a regular coin for the RPM anyway. There's no RPM. Let me turn this guy back around. Let me get my... Wow, I'm having issues with my camera today. Haven't been able to tell already. I'm having some issues here. It's like every time I move my camera, something else happens. There we go. I almost got it back. All right. Let's take a look at the other side and see what happened there. Looking mainly for hub doubling around the outside edge of the coin, which would show as extra thickness or separation in E pluribus unum in the wheat stems. I've not seen anything else in this era other than Class 2 and Class 6 double dies, both of which would show extra thickness toward the rim. Didn't see anything in this particular coin, so we're going to keep moving. See if we can't keep this thing going and get us a really nice pile of coins here. Hi, Steve Elliott. Didn't miss anything. We're just on coin number 3 right now. Robert Adams. And let's see what Robert Adams gets. Well, it's a nice little split serif RPM there. So there's our second RPM. This one's got a nice clash mark. Is this one that we have already seen in some other roll somewhere? There's another clash mark back there. Pretty nice clash with an RPM. Let's see, what can we use for markers here? I guess all these die scratches, these diagonal die scratches with the clash mark should be marker enough. There is a pretty heavy die scratch right underneath the 9, between the 9 and the D. And we have doubled upper and lower serif on this. So let's keep looking around, see if we see anything else on here. Some really nice die scratches going on here. So they make up good reverse markers for this die. This little guy here with the E, that little flange hanging off the bottom left-hand corner of the E, that is a die clash mark. That is a clash mark from his vest on the other side of the coin, the design on the other side of the coin. This came from the obverse die when it slammed against the reverse die with no coin between it. They transferred their designs to one another and then wasn't completely polished out, or the way they polished it out left damage on the die that made the E very shallow in that area. And that's just because of the difference in the relief of that area after the clash mark happened. They couldn't get it completely polished away because it was too deeply embedded into the coin, or into the die. So that's what that is. Take a look at the obverse again. Just look at that repunchment mark one more time. Get it ingrained into memory. So we've got the diagonal die scratches. We've got one inside the 9 and one underneath the 9. Then we've got one from the corner of the D to the middle of the 5. So pretty nice die scratches right next to the date. Make it easy to determine that we have seen this die before once we see it again. And this one's for Robert Adams. It's coin number 3, and it's our second different repunchment mark in this roll. Let us take a look. Well, Robert Adams gets the next coin. Let's see what Robert Adams gets. These are really bright coins, too. They're nice, bright coins, highly lustrous. Not seeing anything of note on this one so far. Let's see, let's take a look here. And lots of happy little coins in these rolls. Very interesting sometimes. Let's keep bouncing through the roll until we hit more interesting coins. Look at the really interesting ones, and then kind of skip over the ones that aren't so interesting. Hopefully everybody gets interesting coins in the roll. That's Robert Adams and coin number 4. Let's take a look and see who gets coin number 5. Coin number 5 will go to Jeremy. You know what? I already forgot. I'm sorry to the first few people here, but I forgot that I was going to give this roll away too, this wrapper. So let me go ahead and fix up a card for that and put it in here. There we go. Okay. Jeremy's going to get the next coin in the roll. Let's take a look at Jeremy's coin and see what he got. 1956 Denver. We have no repunchment mark here. I have no hub doubling. Unless there could be a doubled eyelid, which there is not. And on around to take a look at the reverse, the obverse we just looked at. Take a look at the reverse here. And nothing of importance on this one. It's a normal coin. Nice one, but it's a normal one. And that goes to Jeremy Johnson. Coin number 6. Coin number 6 is for Coin Addict. Let's see how Coin Addict fares in this little hunt we have going on here. I don't see anything on this mint mark or the date. And kind of sans doubling all together here. Nothing in the mint mark, no double die, no hub doubling around the outside edge. We have a leader die state reverse. And that's what that shadow doubling on the R and the B of pluribus is caused by die wear. It's not actually hub doubling. It's the same type of stuff that you'll see on the 1955 Poor Man's double die, which those aren't actually double dies at all. And they are rather common. Excuse me for the yawning. I'm not actually tired. I do it a lot. And the reason I do it a lot is in part because I work a lot, but also in part because of my medication. My medication makes oxygen traveling to my brain not happen as quickly as it should, and yawning kind of helps it. So instead of being a sign that I'm going to sleep, it actually helps keep me up and upright. Propped up, ready to work and do my thing. This is a really nice bright coin, but it doesn't have a repunchment mark. It's a really nice looking one too. You stand back and look at this thing, hold on to it, and look at it. It's a really bright, shiny red coin with beautiful luster. We call these dripping with luster. Very nice luster, but no doubling. Yeah, the coffee doesn't actually help me stop yawning. Yawning is merely a process of attempting to get more oxygen into my brain because for some reason, since I started taking medication, can't see the numbers. Oh, no. Well, I guess we can't. It needs to be shadowed from this. Is it this or is it over here? It's this one over here. Still can't see them. Almost got it dark in here and I still can't see them. What am I supposed to do next? Huh. This is weird. It must be a gain issue or something. I don't know. Let me see what I can do with this here real quick. I'd like to be able to see those numbers. But if I'm not going to be able to, then whatever. Let's see if I can flip and turn them the other way. Maybe they'll be visible that way. They're a little more visible this way. I think I can see them that way. It's a little bit better. Okay, so this is coin number 8 that we're coming up on here, and it goes to Mr. Worley. Let's take a look at Mr. Worley's coin. Do some jumping jacks to help the O2 level. I could just run up and down the stairs. This is a nifty little repunch mint mark. It's kind of minor, but it's still there nonetheless. And some die scratches here and there. Let's see if we can find a really good marker for this. There's a good marker. Boom chuckalaka. Yeah, you got a good marker there. It's a die crack from the rim up to the top of the shoulder. And so you can see the split on the bottom of the repunch mint mark right here. But if we turn it this way, you can see how that split is formed. Let me zoom in on it real quick and take a quicker, better look at it here like this. There, now we can see the whole thing. That's a nice little split. I think I'll keep that out and see if it's a listable item. It's got a beautiful die crack on it though. Really nice big die crack. That thing's a chunker. There you go, look at that. Super die crack down by the rim. That's actually got some separation to it there. Alright, let's zoom back out on this. We'll set this aside just in case we decide to keep a pile of them and list them, because I'm probably going to see this again. Alright, that's coin number 8, Mr. Worley. So far we've got 3 different repunch mint marks, and all 3 of them we only have one example of each. So let's see what happens here. Try to get some repeats for people. Try to get some repeats that are actually better than what we've run into in the past. This looks like the same die perhaps, and it is. Same die. Same repunched mint mark. It's got the same die scratches. Got a die scratch. I'm going to say a die scratch diagonal up from the E over the R. That'll be one to look for. Let's take a look at the other side, see what happened over there. It's an earlier die state reverse. It's a mid die state. It's actually mid to late die state, but it's earlier die state than the other side. Okay, there's a marker for that side. That heavy die scratch between the N of 1 and the I of pluribus. Okay, so we can put this in the pile of die 3 for today and figure out later what it is, if it's anything, and if it's not, well, we could very easily list it as a new one, or if I can't really get good pictures of it, then I probably won't list it at all. What do we have here? This is another one of the die clash ones. This one's not going to have the die crack, It's going to have, what was the difference on this one? Okay, there's a big die crack up in the hair. That's not what we were using, though. There's something somewhere. I guess it was just the die scratches in conjunction with that die clash that we were using to mark this particular die. Let's see if he's got anything on there that I can actually pick out as being something different. Okay, there's a pair of die scratches making a V coming off the top of the 6. We can use that for this one. You can also see, if you look at the corner of the mint mark right now, exactly how it's lit. It appears as though it could be tripled. It appears as though it could be a tripled mint mark. And we've got all these nifty die scratches next to the TY of Liberty. All right, let me stick this one. This is going to be die 2 for the day. So let me stick this one with the other one that I've already pulled out. We'll move on to the next coin. Next coin's going to go to Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers, let's see what you've got in here. Well, looks like it's another one of those with the die crack. And it is. There's your die crack all the way down to the rim. Oh, this roll's coming out pretty nice. Pretty nice, I would say. Just kind of studying up on the die markers here. See what I can see that I could actually use as a marker to identify this. There we go. We got die scratches right in front of the eye. On the bridge of the nose, right in front of the eye, we've got a bunch of north and south die scratches. Also have one coming up out of the chin. So we'll see if maybe those become good, useful markers for us to identify this die into the future. Other than that really nice die crack on the shoulder. Okay, Jeremy gets our next coin. Jeremy's going to get coin number 12 here. Let's see what Jeremy gets. You got another one. That's not the die crack one. That is a minor doubled split serif. It could be new. It also could be too minor to list. But I'll hold it off to the side anyway and make a decision later. This one's going to have old north and south die scratches through the Y of Liberty. And it's a minor split double serif. Minor split on the up, minor split on the bottom. And so we'll hold this off to the side too. Let's take a look at the other side and see if there's anything on the other side of the coin warranting any discussion. No further discussion. Any further discussion? No further discussion. So moved. Move on to the next coin. Let us see what we got next coming out of this. I'll set this off to the side, I said. Over half the coins we've pulled out of this roll so far have been die varieties. That's not bad. Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers will get, that's our die clash variety there. It's die clash with a repunch mint mark. And it's got my V of die scratches coming up off the top of the 6. And so this is going to be die number 3 for today. Die number 3 for today. Let's take a look at the reverse and see what we can come up with on the reverse, if anything. Doesn't appear that anything happened to this coin. You got big die scratches on the forehead. Let's see what we're talking about here. On the forehead or from the forehead? Yeah, these coming out from the forehead. That's right. You also got one coming right out of the middle of the nose. Oh, look at that. There's a big die scratch coming down off the T of trust. I got plenty of markers for this. We got plenty. All right. Let's see here. Put that in pile number 3. And let's take a look at the next coin. The next coin's going to be for Marshall. There's another one. This is going to have the same markers as our last coin, it appears. Yep. Same markers as our last coin. So this is the same die as the last coin we just looked at. You see how learning your markers helps you classify your die varieties as you're pulling them out of the roll? That way when you get done, you can do one cursory spot check going back over them real quickly. Know what you're looking for, know what you're looking at, and be able to just move right on into attributing the coins. That's the fun part. I'm checking another coin just to make sure that I'm putting this in the right pile. And it is the right pile. That's die number 2 for the day. Die number 2. Die number 3 has the die crack. Die number 2 has the die scratch next to the T, and the die scratch is out in front of the forehead. Die number 1. What was die number 1? Well, I can't remember now what our marker for die number 1 was. This goes back to die number 1. Oh yeah, it was the pattern of die scratches around the date. You have some that are kind of up and down, and some that are side to side. That's what that was. We haven't seen another one of those since this first one. Alright, so now coin number 15. Let's pull for coin number 15. Oh, wait a minute. Marshall needs to have his name put on that one. Coin number 14. And here I'm putting Marshall in there. Okay, coin number 15 will go to Robert Adams. And Robert Adams will get... What is it? What is it? What is it? It's out of focus. At bottom of the mint mark's been hit on this coin. But luckily enough, it's not a repunch mint mark. So... in the grand scheme of things, it's okay. Oh, wait a minute. It could be a repunch mint mark because it has that. But you know what? You can't really do much about it when you can't see the RPM because of damage on the coin. And I can tell you, being a person who has bought a lot of RPMs, being a person who has collected a lot of RPMs, so you can see your split right there on the corner. But that huge hit right on the mint mark is going to take all of its value away. It's not going to have any value as an RPM. When people buy their RPMs, they want to see the RPM. They want to see it in its full glory. You can't sell a damaged mint mark as an RPM. So unfortunately, while this is the RPM that we've been looking for, it's not the coin we've been looking for because of the damage on the mint mark. Alright, so we know what die this is, but we also know that we can't list it in with the RPMs simply because while it would be identified as an RPM, it's not visible as an RPM, so it doesn't really matter. So this one I'm going to put in the normal pile. It is coin number 15. It does belong to Robert Adams. Next we have Robert Adams. Oh, excuse me. Robert Adams gets the next coin. Let's take a good quick gander at it. See what we get. Looks like a normal coin. It quacks like a duck. It must be a duck. No hub doubling, no mint mark doubling do I see. Flip it over in the reverse and take a look for any specific errors that we might want to talk about. And I see nothing. So that's coin number 16. Coin number 17 will go to Taco John. Taco John. What does Taco John get? It looks like we have a nothing. A coin of nothing. Alright, let's take a look at the reverse. And it appears once again that we have nothing on the reverse, just like we had nothing on the obverse. Nothing is basically my way of saying it's not a die variety, it's a normal coin. That doesn't mean it's valueless, and it doesn't mean that it's not a higher grade coin. It just means that there's nothing to look at under the microscope. So I'm not knocking the coins down as being nothing, they're just not die varieties. So I say nothing. This is an earlier die state coin. You can see that there's not really any die flow on this. See how sharp all the letters are? There's not much in the way of die flow on this coin. There is what appears to be a double eyelid on here, though. Appears to be. Let's see what we end up with here. Yeah, it looks like it is, but man, that's so minor. So hard to see. I don't know. I'll check it against the other ones that are already listed. If it's already listed, I'll attribute it. If it's not already listed, I just don't think I can really put this one in there. There's a lot of decent markers to use for it. I'll set it off to the side, and I'll take a better look at it later. I think there's at least 5 or 6 different RPM or double dies listed that are just doubled eyelids. So I'll see if this matches any of the dies that we added back when we were very zealous about trying to get everything there was on the website, and see if these happen to be listed. If not, I'm not sure that I'll be listing this. So this is for James Worley. It's coin number 18. We'll set it sideways because it's a doubled eyelid. Okay, Joe McBride. Joe McBride. Let's see what Joe McBride gets with coin number 19. And coin number 19 is, it's one of them there misprint coins. It's out of focus. Oh, well, this is a nice little split serif RPM. I think this one's going to have the die crack. It's also going to should have a strong die scratch under the T. Or is this a different die? Starting to get my dies confused. Or is this a different die? Yeah, I'm thinking it's the same die. It does have the die crack. So let's take a look at the reverse side. Nothing there really. Okay, stick this one in a flip. Put Joe's name in there, and I'm going to put it in the pile with the rest of the die number 3s. Let's take a look at the next coin for JOB. JOB gets the next one. Oh, well, it is an RPM. It is an RPM. This is going to be the RPM 1 for the day, I think. I'm having a hard time identifying dies this afternoon, or this evening. It has the die markers, the nose, the forehead. I can't remember which die this is. I think it's die number 2, isn't it? Is it die number 2 that had the forehead? Let's see. Let's look at somebody else's coin. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Die scratch coming up out of the nose. Die scratches on the forehead. So, yeah. Okay. So that's die number 2. Let's take a quick look at the other side and see if there's any errors over here to talk about. And I don't see anything so far. Okay. That's coin number 20. It's going to go to JOB. And it's going to be the second die of the day. Hello, kid, did okay? JOB gets the next coin too. How about that? JOB will get, this one is no variety. There's nothing here on this one. You flip this on over. Take a look at the other side. Don't see anything here. Nice big die scratch coming straight down off the right side of the T. Doesn't hardly matter much when you don't have anything on the coin to save it for other than grade. Markers don't really matter when it comes to grades. Well, look at that. JOB gets the next coin too. What are the chances, really? Okay. This is the die crack coin. There's your die crack up off the chin. Should have the heavy die. Am I thinking of a different one that had the heavy die scratch below the T of the trust? I guess I must have been. Must be something different. That die scratch off the chin is enough. So that's definitely going to be a die number 3 for the day. And let's take a look at the next coin, which will be for Kelly Michaud. Kelly Michaud gets... That's an interesting RPM. We haven't seen this yet today, I don't think. This is a pretty nice tilted RPM. Let me zoom in on this one so we can see it a little closer. show you why it's tilted. Tilted simply means that there's not a primary and secondary mint mark. To call one over the other, you can't do it because both of them overlap each other. Let's see if I can get this turned so that you can see the other. Okay, so as you look at it, you have to imagine two mint marks overlapping one another, and that bottom extra serif sticking out of the bottom of the mint mark belongs to what's on the very corner at the top. So what's underlapping on the bottom is overlapping on the top. And then what's overlapping on the bottom is underlapping on the top. So you've got two mint marks that were punched more or less together. One was cocked one direction, the other was cocked the other direction, and when they were stamped together, you've got parts of each of the two mint marks are the highest in relief. So there is no primary mint mark. So it's tilted. We call it a tilted RPM. This one's kind of minor. I'm not really sure it's going to be a listable one. We're going to take it, we're going to set it aside, see if maybe it's something we can list. See if I can find a really good marker for this. So it's a heavy, heavy, heavy die scratch off the bottom of the 9 to the vest. So that would be a really good marker to use on this one. Let's look around and see if we see anything else on this particular coin. I see nothing on the obverse, and on the reverse, a few scrapes here and there. Other than a few scrapes here and there, I don't see anything. Are you guys just not chatting because I'm so mesmerizing, or is it that I'm so boring I put everybody to sleep? I haven't seen anybody say much of anything. Recently, anyway. All right, coin number 24, and we're almost halfway through the roll. It's Chris Vines. Chris Vines will get coin number 24. Is everybody all set and ready for their holiday season? Everybody all festive and ready to go? This one is die 1 for the day. I believe it is die number 1 for the day. Got that nice heavy clash mark. And no, this isn't die 1. This is die 3. It's die 3 for the day. Wrapping gifts right now. There you go. No time like the present, huh? So Chris Vines got himself an RPM. Die number 3 on the day. All right, who's next? Benjamin Marler. Benjamin Marler buys into a couple of rolls here and there once in a while, and he doesn't buy very many. He only gets 1 or 2. He did get one this time, though. This is the same die we just looked at, I do believe, and yes, it is. Same die we just looked at. We got the clash mark. We're going to have a die scratch coming up off the chin, which got one coming up off the nose, the bridge of the nose and the forehead, and one straight down from the T. And we've got this die crack in the hair. Struggling with recognizing MD or die deterioration versus true double die. We could probably explore that a little bit after I get done with the roll here. Get us pumped through this roll and then we'll take a look. Okay, this is another die 3 for the day. For Benjamin Marler, it's got a little bit of a fingerprint on the reverse, but the obverse is pretty nice, and it does have an RPM. That will be a listed RPM. 58 degrees. You've been out hunting in the snow already, and now it's 58 degrees. That's wild. New Marshall gets the next coin. Yeah, it was. I think it was colder at sunrise this morning than it is right now, and it's been warming up all day, and it's still warm. Usually, by the time the sun goes down, which was about 2 hours ago, it would be getting colder outside, and I think it's continuing to get warmer. Okay, nothing on the obverse on that one. How about the reverse? A very late die state reverse. Very shallow design because it's been polished and it's been beaten to death by the process of minting coins. That's what makes all this stuff wear out so much, is because it's 38,000 pounds of force going down, hitting, or is it 38,000 pounds or 38 tons? I don't remember anymore. Said the number so many times, it's kind of left my mind. But we've had rain most of the day here too. It's really just weird. Chris Vines for the next one. Yeah, it stopped raining sometime late this afternoon. It hasn't rained at all this evening. Not seeing anything on this one. And all the rolls are BU rolls of 2019D. What's wrong with that? I'd be jumping up and down over that one. Not sure why anybody wants to get a bunch of mixed rolls of pennies. I'd rather get all the same date mint. Your chances of finding something might be a little bit lower, but look at this. If you've got circulated coins, you got 50 rolls of circulated coins, and you find a double die in one of your rolls, it's probably the only one you're going to find in the entire box. In fact, it's very likely it'll be the only one you find in that box. But if you get a, well, yeah, but roll hunting is best done when you've got a better chance of finding something good. So if there happens to be a double die in these 2019 D rolls, you'll find one in the first 2 or 3 rolls, and pretty much every roll after that you're going to find more of them. And so there's a pretty decent chance that you could keep going through and finding more and more double dies. So I personally would rather have all the same date and mint mark. Okay, Coin Addict gets the next coin. We'll see what you get, Dylan. Well, we got a nice RPM. It's one of the RPMs that we've been listing. It's that one right there. One that has the die crack. And there's the die scratch coming up off the chin. There it is again. And this is going to be die 2 for the day. I may be getting these mixed up, but I'll figure it out. I'll get it figured out. We do have a nice RPM there. All right. Hurlstormer. I don't really have time to go through BU rolls anymore. I wish I did. But with what I do, I just don't really have the time for me. Let's see there. That's another RPM. There we go. Another one of the ones with the die crack. And there's the mark coming up out of the chin. So we have the same die again. This isn't bad. See, this is what happens when you get coins like these, when you get BU rolls. I hope you're watching and paying attention, Scott Feely, because this is the kind of thing that you do when you've got BU rolls that came from an original source. We're finding example after example of the same RPMs over and over again, which that makes a group of RPMs easier to identify. Then we can turn around and trade or sell the extras and start a real good collection that way. CMUS, those are not roller or wheel marks. They definitely are not. That's part of the planchet. I saw the pictures that you sent me, and I told you that those are not wheel marks. Another RPM. And that's this one here. That's die 2 for the day. Yeah, when when you're searching coins, the idea, and I'm just going to lay this out there because I'm rather passionate and strong about this. The idea of taking a box of pennies and opening up all the rolls, just looking for Canadian pennies and wheat cents, and then taking a tally or a count of the number of Canadians and wheat cents that you see, and then taking the rest of them back to the bank to trouble them with having to rewrap the rolls and resell the rolls to someone else is, frankly, it's a complete waste of time, and it's ludicrous to me. Reason for that is because Canadian pennies have very little, if any, value. And wheat cents are worth 2 to 3 cents a piece. And you are likely skipping over, if you're doing that, you're likely skipping over valuable varieties that could be worth better money. You could be skipping over some scarce error coins that you just don't notice. Hey, there's another one right there. I can tell already. I got those markers. And turn it that way and we can see the doubling on the lower serif. See, we know what we're going to find in this roll, basically, because we studied it as we were bringing coins out of the roll. And now we know the markers on this, and we can see the same markers coming up again and again and again on these coins, and we're getting duplicates of the same RPM time and time again. And that's part of the good part about being able to hunt coins that all came from the same source. And, you know, wheat pennies are cute and everything, but there's no real value to wheat pennies. Not the amount of time and effort that you spend getting boxes back and forth and the amount of expense you put on the bank to make them rewrap the coins. Wheat pennies don't have that kind of value. They just don't. Okay, this is a different die. This is going to be an RPM nonetheless because it's going to have the crack right there. Going to have the die crack. So there's another RPM. We're getting more varieties out of this roll than we are normal coins. That's a good thing. So I guess the important thing to really keep in mind is it might be a good idea to consider but they aren't wheel or roller marks. I can guarantee you that. It's not a different thought. I know what they are. I know what they are not. Next one goes to Kelly Michaud. What you're looking at is unstruck area of planchet. You're looking at where the stripes on the planchet did not strike completely out of the coin because the metal did not lift all the way into the die well enough to obliterate those marks. Those marks came on the planchet, and it's part of how they roll the strip of metal to make the planchets. They're not wheel marks. They're not roller marks. Oh, PJ. It's not a matter of a thought. It's a matter of 40 years of experience. You ask me what they are. And I know what they are. Somebody else from some other forum guessed and told you what they thought it was. And they were wrong. That's all I got to say. Kelly Michaud again. And Kelly Michaud comes up with, well, it's another RPM. I think. And no, this is that really, really minor one. So one's really hard to identify. I think I'm going to go with a no on this one. It's kind of mushy and it's really, really minor. The Christmas roll will be reveal number 55. We've got a lot to go through between now and then. That's the one that's got the giveaway spots on it. 56 we've already done. 56 was a roll that Stephen Dallas purchased for everyone else. 55 is the one where the free spots are. Yeah, I looked at everything you sent me, CMUS Omaha. I looked at everything you sent me, and what I saw was misinformation. Every time you see what you're calling wheel marks, you're going to see them in higher relief, weakly punched areas of the coin. And the reason you're seeing them is because those lines were in the planchet prior to the coin being struck. And they did not strike completely out of the coin. So you see them left over. You'll also notice that your wheel marks go into all of the cracks and crevices of the design, around every edge of every design part. That's not something that a wheel rolling over the top of a struck coin is going to do, because the wheel is not going to get into the cracks and crevices around the design. So they are not wheel marks. I can show you what wheel marks look like on coins, and it's nothing like what you're looking at. Wife had to stay in the hospital. I hope she's doing better. Jeremy gets the next coin. We got another. I think we've got another. No, this one's not the same. This one's this die with the crack. We keep running across all of these. I was unable to watch any video that you might have sent. I read the post about it. I wasn't able to see a video. But I was also on my phone at the time, which might have kept me from being able to see a video. Mr. Worley gets the next one. It's coin number 37. I've got to resolve my issue one way or another. So I think having something covering over, that's probably going to solve it. But how do I do that? Because I need something up here that's covering over the entire works, and that way I can see my numbers. Maybe if I put a black spot on the ceiling right up there, that'll help. I'll work that problem out. Just figured that one out. All right, coin number 37 for Mr. Worley. No, it's not crimping roller marks. The crimping marks are the circle of death on the coins. That's not what he's talking about. What he's talking about are the really, really fine, thin, straight lines that run across